Hey, turn me up a little. Yeah.
Hey, let me get a little more of that.
They know who we at,
man. How thick, what it is, man. You know what I'm saying?
I stay in the
Time,
tank.
about to hit, baby.
We stay entertaining, yeah. Hey, we stay entertaining. Hey, we stay entertaining. We stay entertaining, yeah. Now turn me up, baby. Now turn me up. We stay entertaining, yeah. Hey, we stay entertaining. Hey, we stay entertaining. We stay entertaining, yeah. Now turn me up, baby. Now turn me up. Hey, we stay entertaining. Now go and check the ratings. We got them up through the ceiling like elevators. House of Vegas in the building, so going crazy. This shit was made for television. Pass the remote, baby. Now go and subscribe, comment, go live. Tell a friend to go and tell a friend. Make sure you tap in, cause we at it again. It's all entertainment, cause we stay entertaining. Yeah, stay entertaining. Yeah, hey, we stay entertaining. Hey, we stay entertaining. We stay entertaining. Yeah, now turn me up, baby. Now turn me up. We stay entertaining. Yeah, hey, we stay entertaining. Hey, we stay entertaining. We stay entertaining. Yeah, now turn me up, baby. Now turn me up, baby. Hey, turn me up a little. Yeah.
Hey, let me get a little more of that.
They know who we at, man.
How thick, what it is, man. You know what I'm saying?
I stay in the
Time,
tank.
about to hit, baby.
We stay entertaining, yeah. Hey, we stay entertaining. Hey, we stay entertaining. We stay entertaining, yeah. Now turn me up, baby. Now turn me up. We stay entertaining, yeah. Hey, we stay entertaining. Hey, we stay entertaining. We stay entertaining, yeah. Now turn me up, baby. Now turn me up. Hey, we stay entertaining. Now go and check the ratings. We got them up through the ceiling like elevators. House of Vegas in the building, so going crazy. This shit was made for television. Pass the remote, baby. Now go and subscribe, comment, go live. Friend to go and tell a friend. Make sure you tap in.
Hi everyone, welcome to the House of X Entertainment.
Where we stay entertaining.
I'm Winston.
And I'm Leo.
And welcome to the Xclusive show.
Okay. Is you about that X?
Oh, nah. Welcome in, guys. Who do we have in the building?
Oh, it looks like lots of people, child.
Yes,
What is this, the welfare line, honey?
Yes, happy Sunday, guys. Hello, Angie Poo 215.
Hey, 215.
Oh, nah. Hello. Hey, sis Burns, how are you?
We got the YT chilling in the building.
Yes.
Do you got your bonbons or not?
Hey, sis, what's up? Nadaya!
Hey!
How are you? Welcome in. All right, let me go down.
Ooh,
hello.
Going down.
Hello, Jaden.
Hi, Jaden.
What's going on? We got Uniquely Lavish.
Ooh, they said it's you unique.
Oh, nah. We got, it's your boy Leo in the building.
Okay, y'all need to grab him if you ain't got him because he is one fine-looking brother. Let me tell you, honey.
Hey, Miss Hall, how you doing?
Hey, Miss Hall.
How you doing? Hey, Miss Hall, how you doing?
That is not how her song goes either, Miss Mary.
Yes, Sabina says, hey.
Hey, Sabina.
How are you doing? One of a kind blog.
Okay, one of a kind.
How are you? Prince Daniel.
Hey, Prince.
How you doing? Natural.
Okay, is you natural?
Oh,
or
no. How are you? Me and I is in the building.
Hey!
What's up, family? How are you?
Okay.
Welcome in. Wake Up Call Gaming. How are you?
Hey!
Welcome in. Emotion.
Okay, they said that you giving out the emotions.
Oh,
or
no.
not.
How are you, Emotion? Welcome in. Is that everybody? Thank you, guys.
If that is everybody, say yes. Honey.
Make sure you guys share.
Yes, share with your friends, share with your enemies, share with the person you might be cheating on with.
Make sure you guys share. Make sure you guys share.
Okay.
How are you guys? We're doing great.
We're doing great.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Watson picked out the colors tonight.
Watson and Leah, you guys are nice. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Watson picked out the colors. I
Thank
said
you.
gold, and he bought this. This is not what I meant when I said
Thank
gold.
you guys.
I have a gold shirt in the closet. That's what I meant when I said go get me gold.
Yes.
But you know, when you're playing the video game and you ask somebody to go get your outfit and wardrobe for the evening, this is what they give you. Okay.
Don't try it.
I didn't say it was wrong. I'm just saying this is what they give you. You know, next time I'll be more clear about it what I mean when I say gold, honey. Okay.
Yes. Make sure you guys share. We have a special.
He did good. All right. Well, you take him home with you, honey, since he did good.
Guest on tonight, guys. Remember, this is Entrepreneurs Month, so make sure you guys share.
Okay. Is you an entrepreneur?
All moderators that's in the chat, please drop the website and the channel link for Lennox's lights, guys.
Okay, while you're at it, drop it like it's hot. All right.
So also, if you have a question, just at House of X, and we will get to your question, guys.
Good color choice. Oh,
thank you. Make sure you guys share.
Miss Mary, you done said that already, honey. They know you share.
So we're gonna bring up our guests in just a moment. Thank you. Good color.
We ain't gonna make her wait 10 years, honey.
You wanna make her make 10 years?
Make her wait 10 years, honey.
Oh, you wanna make her sweat?
Honey, she got the sweat. She new to the show, honey.
Oh yeah,
honey, you gotta make her nervous. Make her nervous, honey. Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So how many shares do we have? Did you check the red phone?
I think we haven't. I'm signed in on my phone.
Well, did you check the phone then, Mary?
Hold on one second.
Because there's a couple of people in here with the share button, so I'm about to call everybody out if you ain't shared.
1, 2, 3.
That's how we gonna do it tonight.
We got about 3 shares.
Who were the people that shared?
And we ain't gonna call out the people on the live.
You ain't gonna call the people out on the live, honey.
They're gonna get you the next time we go live, honey.
It's fine. They don't want no smoke with Leo, honey. Okay, they knew Leo is fierce.
Lord
okay?
Jesus.
Not Jesus. All right, we have 3 shares. I'm waiting for some more. Don't have me call y'all out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They gonna call you out, honey.
Why they gonna call me out?
Yes, they gonna call you out.
How they gonna call me out, girl?
I don't know.
You so silly. How many minutes has it been?
Oh, we got 1 more minute, guys. 1 more minute.
Oh, not 1 more minute. You starting early tonight, ain't you?
Well, we know it's Sunday.
So what that mean? What that mean? People in here ain't got. You know what? We didn't go there.
You folks gotta get up to work tomorrow.
Who in here got a job, girl? Besides 2 people up in here.
Oh Lord.
Maybe 3 the most, honey.
Folks gotta get up go to church tomorrow. I mean, work.
Go to church tomorrow. Today's Sunday. They should have went to church today, honey.
You gotta call them out,
honey.
Just share it. Thank you, y'all. You guys.
Thank you.
You guys almost. Praise God.
Wait, we're almost a what?
900.
Yes. God is good, isn't he?
Yes.
So if you love us, share us out even more, honey.
Well, I know I shared.
Ooh. Oh no, I wasn't gonna call anybody out. That would be a little.
Oh Lord, have mercy. This computer opening things. You never get enough of YouTube notifications, huh?
Hello. Hey, Eat to Live.
Hey, Eat to Live, Sean. How are you? Welcome.
Hi,
in.
Monty.
What's up, Monty? Hey, Aiden. How are you?
Hi, Aiden. See, welcome I told you to wait a little longer. You had to wait until people come in.
I'm waiting.
Okay.
You tried it.
Ain't nobody tried it, girl.
You tried it.
They know tonight was an interview, girl. You got to wait for these people to come in, honey.
You tried it.
Don't jump the gun now.
Love to travel with Wave.
Okay, is you wavy or not?
Tiffany,
walk with me.
Come
See,
on.
I was trying to do it. I do walk with me, and then you go with the next line. So you jumping into.
All right, go again. 1, 2, 3, up.
Walk with me.
Come on, it's Tiffany.
Everybody say walk with me. Everybody say Tiffany.
Yeah. All right, welcome, guys.
See, aren't you glad I stalled just a little bit longer? There's more people here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Hand clap for Leo. Yes, honey.
You know what? You want some water pour on you tonight?
You want to sleep on the floor tonight?
You can put me on the floor.
Honey, this is my apartment. Don't get it messed up.
Oh, you tried it. You tried it.
You may pay the rent, but this is mine, honey, okay?
You tried it.
Is our guest ready in the back?
Yes. You guys looking good in the office. Thank you, Love to Travel.
You. Watson pick. I don't know if you were here when I said it, so we'll repeat it.
I said not sleep on the floor.
Honey, okay,
yes.
honey. Put him right on the floor, girl.
All right, guys. So we have a special guest coming up. Many of you guys know this guest. Many of us have the candles. but do many of us know the story and know the backstory? Guys, for all the moderators in the building, please drop the website and the channel. Also, if you have a question, you are free to ask questions. Let us also be respectful of tonight's interview. So, guys, nevertheless, we are bringing up Lennox Lights, guys, who is our guest on tonight, coming to the exclusive show. Lennox Lights, guys. How you doing?
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
How
Yes.
you doing, honey?
How are you doing? Thank you so much for
I'm
being a
good.
part of the show.
Thank you for asking me. I'm excited to get Lennox's story out there.
All right.
All right,
Well,
all
welcome,
right.
welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So am I doing the first question?
Yes, you do.
All right. I just love the first questions, honey.
Yes.
So, okay. Whew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, girl. Honey, I don't forgot how I said I was gonna word it. But no. Your baby's name is Lennox. So for those that may not know, please explain the company.
Okay, so I started Lennox Lights because my son was diagnosed with Dravet syndrome, and I had to quit my job, and I needed kind of an extra income. So I decided to make candles. I kind of always watched people make candles on like YouTube and stuff like that. I know it's weird, but I did it so because I like to make candles, and then I did a few times myself, and I was like, oh, I could sell these. So here I am.
Thank you.
I know that's right.
Thank
honey.
you.
Make a
All
little extra
right.
money on the side, honey.
All right. So in the story, because if for many of you guys who have not ordered candles, please go ahead, check out the link and go order your candles. So in the story, when you order your candle, there is a picture of like this right here that comes with your candles, and it says Lennox Journey. So in the story that you sent out with the candles, Lennox Lights, Lennox was born at home. Why not the hospital?
Well, I went the day before Lennox was born. I went to work and they kind of put me in the section. I was a server, and they put me in the section of the restaurant that takes like the largest parties. So I'm 5 months pregnant. I wasn't feeling that well already. Well, 4.5 months pregnant. Wasn't feeling that well already. And they're like, oh, just wait on all the large tables. So I was like, no. I was like, I'm just going to go home. And I went home, and then like I kind of laid there for a few hours, and I was like, I still don't feel right. And I went to the hospital. So I went to labor and delivery, and they kind of put me on a contraction monitor and all that. And they seen that I was in active labor, and they sent me down to have a sonogram, and all that sent me back up to labor and delivery. And like 2 hours later, they sent me home, and they're just like, bed rest. And they scheduled me to see a specialist in like 3 or 4 days. So I was like, okay. So I went home and I took a bath, and I was like, okay, this will make me feel better, and go to sleep. But stop. It did not make me feel better. I ended up going into like active labor, and I ended up waking up Junior, who's Lennox's dad. He was asleep on the couch at the time, because when I got sent home from the hospital, it was probably about 5 o'clock in the morning when we got home. So I went home, took a shower, came out of the shower, woke up. Junior was like, this baby is like coming. He called the hospital, and they were like, bring her back here. And I was like, we're not going to make it to the hospital. Like, the baby's coming out, because I have 2 other kids that I had naturally. So like, I know like what it feels like when the baby's about to come. And he delivered the baby, and he just like wrapped him up in a towel, and wrapped the towel in foil to keep him like warm and incubated. And we saw that he was breathing on his own, so we knew that was okay. The ambulance was already on the way, because while he was delivering the baby, he had somehow managed to call an ambulance. I have no idea. He's like literally amazing. So the ambulance comes, takes the baby and the baby only, because they're like, we need to get the baby to the hospital if it has any chance to survive. And then they called another ambulance for me to go to the hospital after. So then I went to the hospital, and Lennox was in the NICU, and I stayed in the hospital for 3 days.
So during that whole process, the umbilical cord and everything was cut by your husband?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Jesus.
He is actually at he has a CNA and he's in nursing school, so he kind of already knew what he was doing a little bit from his medical background knowledge. So if the hospital wasn't going to let me deliver my baby there, at least he knew what he was doing at home. So it worked out great for Lennox, honestly.
Okay, that's
All right.
amazing.
Thank you so much.
It really is amazing.
Second question. Seeing how you had him at 23 weeks early, were you concerned there would be any high risk?
A couple weeks before he was, I don't even want to say, maybe a week before he was born, I had an anatomy scan and they told me that he was a 2-vessel cord baby. So when I went to the hospital not feeling well, I was kind of like, I feel like maybe like it could be something wrong, and he had low amniotic fluid. So like that's kind of why I brought myself to the hospital in the first place, was because I know in his anatomy scan like things weren't normal. So for them not to take it serious when I went there is like a whole other thing. But
Okay.
so when we had him and like brought him to the hospital, I was very nervous for like everything. Like I think he was upstairs in the NICU for 6 hours before we were able to even see him, before they would even come down and tell us like he's alive, he's breathing, he's okay. Like we had no idea. Like we were just sitting there trying to come up with a name for him, honestly.
Oh wow.
Wow. Does the name Lennox has a meaning?
I believe it means strength. I'm pretty sure it does. And we went through a like list of Gaelic names, because my name is Gaelic, Siobhan, and so is my other son Keenan, my daughter Mavie, and then Lennox. So I was like, I don't care what the name is, as long as it's like from the Gaelic language, I'm fine. And we just both really liked Lennox out of going through millions of names.
Okay. Okay. You got the next one.
Oh, was that your question?
No, I'm saying we both have the same thing, so you gotta ask.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm sorry. I'm like, wait, what? Okay. So the next question is, seeing how he had his first seizure, were you thinking this was a one-time thing, or as a mother, did you know there would be more seizures coming?
So because Lennox was so like, after he got out of the NICU, after he spent like his 5 months in the hospital in the NICU, and then he came home, he did go back to the hospital for like a few little things, like a cold and stuff. He just needed a little extra help breathing because he was so little still. And then like all his doctor's appointments were fine. He had a PDA, but it ended up closing itself. And if you don't know what a PDA is, it's like a hole in your heart. And he was born with it. So before, like a month before he had a seizure, we just had been cleared by the cardiologist that he was doing good. We were cleared by the eye doctor that he was doing great. He was in physical therapy for torticollis, which is like just, your muscles are weaker on one side of your body, and he was doing good with that. So like the seizure was a total and complete shock. And when we went to the hospital, they told us that seizures, like in babies and young children, they can have one or two and never have another seizure and be fine. So we were like, he was born at 23 weeks. His brain could still be needing to develop and stuff, because he developed outside of the body for most of the pregnancy, versus in the body. He didn't stay inside as long as he should have to get all the development that he needed. So we were like, maybe it's just like a growing thing. But I was concerned that he would have another seizure, but I also thought that because Lennox was doing so well from the NICU, that it was something that he was going to overcome.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Meet Nice says, poor thing. We will continue to pray for him and strength for the parents. Cannot imagine.
Thank you.
So how was the experience after the first seizure? Did you panic? Were you scared? Did you know what to do?
So it's crazy because I knew what to do the first time he had a seizure, because in my 3rd grade, I remember this all the way from 3rd grade. The kid sitting next to me in 3rd grade had fallen out of his chair and he was having a seizure. And that's the first time I saw a seizure and learned what to do with a seizure. Like, you roll them on their side, make sure there's nothing blocking their airway, and, just make sure they don't choke or like throw up and then choke on that or something. So, And I seen Lennox, like, because it happened, and he was in his dad's arm, and his dad was like, "Look at him," and I was like, "Oh my god, like he's seizing." But then he stopped, and we put him in the car, and we drove him to the emergency room. But then he started again, and so like when we walked him into the emergency room, they seen him seizuring, and they just immediately called like a whole team of doctors to like surround him, and they just kind of watched him till he stopped, and he stopped on his own without any medical intervention the first time and the second time, which was his first seizure was August 13th, and then 4 days later was his next seizure, which after that seizure he ended up having an MRI because he was supposed to have his hernias repaired. He had 2 inguinal hernias from the NICU, and he was just supposed to get them repaired. So he was like had an MRI scheduled for those types of things, but he ended up getting an MRI on his brain and not the other stuff for his hernias because he had 2 seizures in 4 days. They weren't comfortable putting him under because he could have a seizure going under anesthesia, and that would be very, very bad. Yeah. So
Jesus.
to this day, he still has the hernias, and we still kind of suffer the effects of him having them because they are very painful for him still. And we don't know when we're going to be able to get those fixed because we don't have control of the seizures yet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jesus. We have a question from Uniquely Lavish. May I ask, were you ever diagnosed with incomplete
seizures?
Incompetent cervix, I think.
cervix?
No, because the only thing that they could tell me was what we saw on the sonogram, and that was that he had low amniotic fluid and a 2-vessel cord baby. If you don't know what that means, it just means that like normally when babies are in the womb, they have a 3-vessel cord, so it gives like 2 for like blood and oxygen, and then 1 for waste to come out. So Lennox was born with 1 for blood and oxygen and 1 for waste. So I think the stress of that and being low amniotic fluid kind of made him want to come on his own, and that's why he came out. Because they said when babies are under stress in the womb, like if they like they'll make themselves come out, like they'll create labor basically. So I think that's what happened. No doctor can tell me why Lennox is here, like why Lennox came early. They don't know.
Okay. I think all right. I do. How many doctors did you had to see until you get the final diagnosis?
We seen like an epileptologist is like a doctor that does surgery for people who have epilepsy. We worked with her for a while. We worked with the doctors at upstate Golisano Children's Hospital, our local one. We've seen probably 6 or 7 different neurologists, and that's just because like with our hospital stays, like they'll send the neuro team to us, and it's kind of like whatever doctor is on call, but they all work in my doctor's practice. So we have like 1 neurologist that we see all the time, and then we have like 3 or 4 that are familiar with us because they've seen us in hospital. So in that aspect, it is nice to have like all these people already know Lennox, and like when they see Lennox, they kind of know what to do with him because they know him. So I would say we've probably seen 5 doctors before we got his diagnosis, and to get his diagnosis, we had to go through genetic testing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's a lot.
You have the next one.
Okay. As a parent, were you concerned of the meds that he would have to take?
Oh yeah, my fight still to this day is the meds because he is on 4 different medications, and that's just daily medications. These are not even like the rescue meds that we give him when he's having like a seizure for longer than 5 minutes. He takes 4 anti-seizure medications every day, 4 times a day, and the side effects of these meds are like developmental delays, like loss of speech, loss of like balance and like awkward gait. Like they're not good things for children, and definitely children of like Lennox's size and Lennox's like history. Like he has literally fought since the beginning because he was born at 1 pound 3 ounces, and he's just turning 3 or just turning 2 at the end of this month, and he's already on meds that they give like 5-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
it's very, very scary for like his basically his development. Like today we had like yesterday we got a helmet for him because like his seizures have gotten so scary when he's walking and eating. Like he'll just hit his head because he has head drops and his head just drops down and will smack the table, or he'll be walking across the floor and he just falls over because he has a seizure. And it's just kind of something that like we're used to now. And like those are like the little seizures, like the ones that aren't very concerning. But like, how do you say that they're not concerning? Because he has to wear a helmet to protect your head because you fall over. Like none of my other kids walk through the living room and will fall over unless they like trip over something, or you know what I'm saying. So it's just it is a lot.
Are you okay? Do you need some time?
No, I'll be okay. I'll be all right.
Okay. All right. Okay. Do you have the? All right.
You want me to ask
I got it. A few months ago, Lennox was hospitalized a few months ago with severe seizures. Was it due to the medication not working? What happened?
So it's definitely due to a number of things. One of the things is that we do not think Lennox's seizures would have lasted 2 hours if he was equipped with the proper rescue medication, because any other time that he had a prolonged seizure over 5 minutes, we would be able to get it to stop within like a half an hour of him having the rescue meds administered. And with this one, like we administered a rescue med, then 5 minutes later we administered another dose and it didn't touch him. And then the ambulance came and they gave him a dose of medicine and he's still like convulsing. And I'm like, this is not normal. Like something is definitely off. And it took them 2 hours what we think was 2 hours, because we woke up and he was having a seizure. We're hoping he was only having a seizure for like a minute, 30 seconds to a minute without us realizing it. But it took them 2 hours for him to come out of that seizure. And I can't even tell you the amount of medication that they put in my baby that day. Like, all I know is I was standing in the hospital room and they're like, oh, give him or give him like, I can't even think of it. It's like clonazepam and like all these other things. And I'm just like what are these drugs? And it's just crazy.
Did you ever like had to scream and cry during that moment?
I definitely like when they were putting the tube down his throat, that was very traumatic for me because that wasn't something I had seen since the NICU. And that was like since he was maybe 3 months old is like when he got his tube like actually stopped being intubated, was probably about like December. And so for me, I'm just like, okay, we're going like really far back now. Like now we need to go back on a tube to like help him breathe, to basically breathe for him, not even help him breathe. I was like, and what if that doesn't help? Then we go to a vent, and like we've been there. Like we don't want to do these things again just to help Lennox breathe, because even though it does help him breathe, it causes a lot of issues and damage to his lungs and like other parts of his body. So, and it's uncomfortable. I mean, it's a huge tube to have shoved down your throat. And once you become like awake and conscious and all that, like Lennox starts moving, and then it's just so uncomfortable, and you can tell it's very uncomfortable for him.
I wanted to ask, as you were saying that, as they're giving him all of these medications, how do they know what's working for him and what's not working for him?
Because for the rescue medications, they give it like a 1 to 3 minute like time to work or to see whether an improvement in the seizure. So like after, I would say like if it was supposed to be an instant medication that would like supposed to instantly stop it, like they have like these sprinkles and things that as soon as they the seizure patient sniffs them, kind of like how Narcan is for drug addicts. It's kind of like the same thing. As soon as it just brings them back, that it just takes the seizure away. So like those types of things weren't working for Lennox, and it got to the point where they had to call like a pediatric pharmacist because Dravet syndrome is a sodium, like a blockage in the sodium channel of your brain. So basically Lennox's brain doesn't get enough sodium, and that's what causes him to have seizures. So any medications, then there's a lot of seizure medications that are sodium blockers, and if they give him one of those medicines, it's just going to send him into a seizure for longer and longer because the sodium blocking is already what's causing the seizure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We have a question.
We have a question from Angie Poo. How are the parents and the other kids doing mentally?
I will say like I'm in a better place now than like even like I would just say from like November to June was a very rough time. Like we're going through so many medications and arguing with our neurologist to like give us a prescription to get a service dog, and just like just basic things that we're getting in place for Lennox. So like when he is older and he already wants a lot of independence now for being 2 years old, but like when he's 5 years old, like having a service dog will be so beneficial to him, like when he's walking and just trying to do more independent things. So she was just like kind of like making it so she didn't really want to give it to me. So I'm just like, okay. So it's like those stressing things, and then like just seeing Lennox, and then the other kids, like they're like, we want to go to the beach, we want to go do these things, but I know if I go put Lennox in the sun for like more than an hour and a half, he's most likely his body's gonna start to overheat, and then he's gonna go into a seizure. So like I have to tell the kids, like a lot of times we can't do a lot of things with COVID. Like we were in the house forever. Like we didn't leave for the longest time. Like I feel so bad for my older kids. And like this year we started putting them back in sports and stuff. So, and they're back in school, which they're happy about. Like we have gotten things like Lennox has a cooling vest and like all these things that we're getting together for him now for like as he gets bigger, so we can still go do these like family, like going to the beach or just going places as family and not worrying about him overheating or worrying about like, should we be doing this? Is Lennox going to have a seizure? Because I know that there's like a lot of people like who like I go to the grocery store and I'm like, okay, I have Lennox with me, but is he gonna have a seizure in the middle of the grocery store? Like it's just a different way of living, I guess. I don't really know how else to explain it. But other than the kids being told no, they can't do things that they used to do, I'm not sure that it bothers them because they don't really understand it. My oldest son has seen Lennox have a seizure, and like Lennox was in an exerciser and he had to come in and get me, and he's like, Mom, like Lennox is not right. And I like ran right to Lennox and he was, and I was like, oh my God, like you did such a good job telling me. Like he's like, he just started doing it too. So like they're aware, but I just don't think I think they're starting to understand how severe it is, but I don't think they really understand yet. And especially not Mavie. She's too little. And I think even Brandy is still a little bit too little to really, really understand it.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing.
Uniquely Lavish has a question.
What are some of Lennox's favorite things to do?
He loves to throw the ball, like any ball. He loves to throw balls. We have like this little basketball hoop, and he'll go and he'll.
I have the same question.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
He'll throw the ball right through the basketball hoop. He likes like for physical therapy, like they have like a lot of these toys that like you wouldn't really think like to buy your kid, I guess. Like you see them in like Fisher Price toys or whatever, but you probably wouldn't buy them for the reasons that physical therapy does. And there's like this little piggy bank with coins that Lennox loves to just stick the coins through and put the coins through. And like he just pulls them out and puts them through every time. So things like that, any like little the magnetic tiles, like those things that you can put together and stick on a fridge, he likes those things. Or anything that's really not a toy, like the TV remote control, your phone, the laptop, a water bottle, whatever you have.
All right, I think you have the next one.
Okay. I'm gonna skip one of my questions and go to the next question because Jaden and me kind of have the same question. So I'll read that question before I get to the other question. Lennox is currently on a waiting list for a service dog. Please explain how important the dog is and how it helps.
Okay, so for the service dog, which there's like a lot of things that I didn't even realize a service dog could do for Lennox, and I didn't realize this until Friday when I had my phone interview with Four Paws for Abilities, and that's where we're going through to get Lennox's service dog. And basically, the service dog is going to help him, like it will go off his scent to sense a seizure. So different seizures release different scents from their bodies, so the dog will actually literally be able to tell us that like Lennox is about to have an atonic seizure or Lennox is about to have a tonic clonic seizure, and it'll kind of tell us what to prepare for, because the dog isn't going to take away the seizures. It's just going to help us be able to better help Lennox. So there's that. And then like the dogs can sense if you're having like migraines, I guess your body will send off a certain scent. So like Lennox is supposed, like, well, that's what neurology said. He probably has migraines, which is why he could be like uneasy some of the times, like because he has a migraine and his head is bothering him. So I'm like, okay, like that makes sense. So the dog would be able to tell us that. The dog will be able to help Lennox with his balance and give him the confidence to be able to continue to walk, because like you can put a little guard on the dog and put it on Lennox, and then they'll be able to kind of walk together. The dog is there to like kind of break Lennox's fall if Lennox does fall. And it, also for like developmental issues, like I expect the hardest thing to do is prepare for your child to be like have I would say developmental issues that you we don't know. Like Lennox walks now, but Lennox could not walk when he's 5. Like Lennox could Lennox says mom now. Lennox started out saying like mom, dad, and baba, and now he'll only say mom. So it like we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what works for him, but we know that putting him in like the therapies and the stuff we have is helping him and giving him the best life for right now. So
Okay. Okay.
As a parent, do you think the seizures will get better as time goes on?
I hope so. I hope like through there's like studies for gene therapy, which I recently read an article where they have helped like babies that were born with like HIV. They kind of received gene therapy when they were younger, and they test negative for HIV now, which is completely amazing because it's basically altering your genes so you don't have this one thing that's wrong with you anymore. And Lennox's condition is genetic. So for me, I'm kind of like, I hope gene therapy is able to expand over into epilepsy, into like Lennox's field, and maybe help him that way one day, because Dravet syndrome is a medicine resistant epilepsy. So basically any medicine we try, it might work for the first 2 weeks, the first month, maybe even the first 2 months, but eventually it starts to show resistance where Lennox's seizures will increase, or we'll start to see different types. Like that's what happened to us recently. Like before, we just had myoclonic epilepsy and tonic-clonic seizures every once in a while, and myoclonic epilepsy is like little twitching events that we used to not see as much, but then they kind of increase towards the end. Well, now we're seeing head drops, and Lennox is staring off into space, just like, and then comes back to like life, kind of like he's in and out like sometimes, and that's absent seizures and atonic seizures. So as he's getting bigger, we're kind of being diagnosed with more things like that, and the medicines are not keeping these away. So we are on 4 meds right now, and he's considered to fail all 4 of them, because yes, they help keep some of them like at bay, and we're not in the hospital every 2 weeks like we first were when we started the epilepsy journey, but we're still seeing dozens of seizures a day, and they might not be the seizures that put us in the hospital, but Lennox still falls over during the day. Lennox still is like not with us sometimes, like he's doing his little staring off into space, and sometimes it takes Lennox out for like an hour or two, because after you have a seizure sometimes you have to sleep to recover. And so some days Lennox sleeps all day, and some days he doesn't sleep at all. And even at nighttime, you can tell when he's having seizures, because he'll twitch, but he'll toss and turn all night, and he'll constantly roll and move around. And when his dad and I will often sleep in shifts just to make sure that he doesn't start to have a seizure and we're asleep again, because that was so scary. Um, and that's what we'll see. We'll see his like body twitch, and then we'll see him like kind of move around and be like kind of like anxious now. So we are trying keto. That's actually what we're starting this week and next week. We're getting Lennox all set up to go to a keto diet, which has had some people have had luck with it and some people haven't. It's supposed to not get rid of seizures completely, but offer seizure reduction. And after we get like the keto introduced and everything to Lennox, we're going to start on CBD, and that is also supposed to help with seizure reduction, but not take it completely away. So currently there is no cure for Dravet syndrome, but I'm hoping with bringing awareness and everything else and just bringing it to light that we can get funding and enough research to find a cure for Dravet syndrome, because it affects so many people. You have to be diagnosed with it like within your first year of life is when you have your first seizure, and that's like a key sign that you are SCN1A, which is the genetic variant for Dravet syndrome.
Okay. Thank you so much. DC Will says, my son was diagnosed with epilepsy at the age of 2, and that was hard on me as a parent. So I'm sending you prayers to continue strength in you. My heart goes out to your family.
Thank you so much. Like being a parent and watching your kid have a seizure, I'm like literally like ready to rip my brain out of my head and hand it to him. Like just put it in his head. Like he needs it more than I do at this point, but it's not the option we have. We just kind of have to be strong for our kids and make sure they are just given the best life to live.
We have a question from At It Again Media. When did you learn he suffered with his particular disorder?
So he had his first seizure in August of 2020. We were diagnosed with myoclonic epilepsy in September of 2020. In February of 2021, we got our genetic testing results, which showed that he was SCN1A variant, which was pathogenic, which is consistent with Dravet syndrome. But it wasn't until June when he had his 2-hour episode. And no, he wasn't sick. He didn't have there was no cold. He didn't have a virus. He didn't really have a reason to have had this seizure. It just kind of happened. That's what gave him the official Dravet diagnosis.
Okay. Thank you so much. The next question from At It Again Media. Have there been any suggestions of hope that he may grow out this?
No, because it has altered his genetics. This is not something that he can grow out of. I know that was at first, like when he had his first few seizures and he was only diagnosed with myoclonic epilepsy. Neurology kept telling me like, oh, he could grow out of this. Like when he's 5 or 6, we see a lot of kids grow out of this. So it was up until we got the answers for his genetic testing that we had hope that it was something that he was going to grow out of. But once we got the genetic testing results, that's kind of when everything came down that he's not going to grow out of it. And it's something that he's going to live with for the rest of his life.
Okay. Question from Unity Lavish. What is Lennox's favorite food?
Lennox loves fruits and he loves vegetables and he loves potato chips, which I'm a little bit worried about because he's not going to be able to eat potato chips on keto.
Okay, thank you so much. I think I have it. I just gotta figure out what number I was on. Oh, okay, yes. So this question I had, and it was asked in the chat, so I didn't avoid the question. I was coming to it. So it was basically asking, how do you handle taking care of Lennox and your other kids, the other brothers and sisters?
At this point, I'm gonna get a sign for the side of my car that just says like school bus, because that is how I feel. Like I don't know, like Mel, ad advice with Mel, she's always in her car doing the videos because she's always saying she's in the school pickup line. Well, I'm always in the school pickup line or drop off line. There's literally like a 2 hour window that I'll have that I don't have to be in the car to pick them up, but that it's just, it's crazy. But I will say that the kids give Lennox the inspiration to like keep going, and he's always wants to play with them, and they're so great when they play with him. Like they just love to play with him, and it's just, he really has a special light about him. I think like anybody that is ever around him and actually experiences him like would be able to like vouch for it. But it is really a special light.
Uniquely Lover said, I will send you some keto chip options.
Oh, yay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. The next question is, once you got the diagnosis, were you worried that Lennox wouldn't have a normal life, or were you ready for all the challenges that were coming?
Well, ever since Lennox was in the NICU, we were kind of like, he might never be normal. So it was since then that we were kind of prepared for that. We were never really prepared for seizures and epilepsy, honestly, but like we were always kind of prepared that there could be something wrong with Lennox just because he was born so early.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. All right. So next question is, now that Lennox has seizures when he sleeps, is there a routine between his dad and yourself when to watch him while he sleeps?
Yeah, I mean, we might fall asleep, like both fall asleep at the same time, I would say, but we ever are only asleep maybe for an hour at the same time at this point. It's just like some nights we sleep on the couch, some nights we sleep in the bed. It's just kind of like where we are and like where Lennox is, like where Lennox decides to fall asleep that time. And literally everything is Lennox time. Like everything revolves around him, and it's really crazy, but it's what we have to do. And so we do sleep in shifts for majority of the time.
Jesus. Okay. All right. Do you have the next one? Oh, I got it.
This is my last question.
Okay, so I'll do this one and then we'll get to the candles.
Oh.
All right. So in having Lennox, the first period, I have a comment. After your question. Hold on. I have a comment after your question, House of X. Okay, hold on. Let me go back up. I might have missed it.
You might have to go down.
Okay, let me see. I don't see it.
Hold on.
Thank you. Wait. Okay.
Oh, maybe she was saying she's getting ready to comment.
Okay. All right.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, okay.
So after having Lennox, the first few months as him being a newborn and everything, did you ever felt having him and being a mom, why you?
Yes, I thought like a lot of times, like, why me? Like, did I do something wrong? It's just like I don't know. I got this book from the palliative team at Lennox's local hospital, and the title of it is Why Me? So it's like just so crazy to be asked this question, because in the book they go over like the fear of being like a caregiver with like a medically complex child, and the fact that like you do feel guilty, and the depression and the anxiety that goes along with everything. So I did feel like why me and felt like horrible about it, but after reading the book, it kind of like obviously I didn't do anything wrong to make Lennox come early. I didn't do anything wrong to make Lennox have Dravet syndrome. Honestly, Junior and I could both go get genetic testing and we won't have SCN1A gene variant, and it could be just something that Lennox developed on his own, which could be something due to the NICU, but there's not enough research because when Lennox was first born, being born at 23 weeks and being so small and being rushed to the hospital from like a house is very traumatic on a baby that is like that little, and like any small movement like rattling his brain could have caused like a brain bleed or something. But when they had Lennox finally stabilized, like they didn't want to move him to do MRIs. They didn't want to move him to do all these things because they knew that he needed to just kind of sit in the place and grow and develop. So we didn't really take, like, I guess we could have went and figured out things and maybe figured out if Lennox had Dravet syndrome sooner, but there's, at the end of the day, we can't go back and change history, and we can't go back and like switch anything. Everything is the way it is, and the way I look at it is I'm a strong person. Even like previously before like Lennox, I've gone through like different adversities in my life that like I have overcome like individually and on my own. So I didn't think like I would not be handled anything that I cannot handle. And so Lennox was given to me as like a gift for me and a very humbling experience. And it kind of introduced me to the medical world, and just being like a medical mom is a different thing. Like I bring like a lot of awareness to other medical moms in my area, and just a lot of different things like autism and NICU awareness and things like that, like things that I would have never dreamed of or even knew about like a few years ago. So it was like life-changing, and it's scary, and obviously I'm always worried about Lennox, but I think we were put here for a reason, and the reason is to make a difference.
Amen.
Most definitely. I know
Amen.
that's right.
Amen.
We have not a question, but a comment from Uniquely Lavish.
She said Lennox is special.
Blessing. Please stay strong,
Mom, and hashtag fight Lennox.
Thank you.
All right. So I believe this portion of the interview, after we have now gotten the history out, we're going to the candles part, the portion of the business. So go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, what made you decide to do candles?
When Lennox was in the NICU, like they sleep all the time, and I would just sit there and watch people like melt the wax, pour the candle, do the fragrance oil, and I'd watch them put them in like different jars and do different things. Like some people put like stones and make their candles like Toro candles and stuff, so you can like light them while you're reading people's tarot cards, and it's supposed to help like with like spiritual stuff and stuff like that. I don't know that much, but I was about those types of candles, but I was like so fascinated that just like one little candle that people use to make things smell good has so many like different uses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the candles that you sell are made out of soy.
Mm-hmm.
Why soy? Because I know some candles on the market, they're not really made out of soy. So why did you decide to choose soy?
So through my research, I learned that soy, beeswax, and like coconut wax, and the apricot wax, but that's really expensive, are like the most like all natural, cleanest burning. Soy being like one of the cleaner burning candles. And as a mom with a kid with medical issues, when Lennox was in the NICU, he had lung disease due to prematurity. He still takes nebulizers and inhalers now to help his lungs. And so having clean burning scents is something that's important to me. And that means that the oils are safe and the candle is safe to burn like in your home. And you won't see like the other harsh effects you get from other candles. And I do like, I can make colored candles if you ask me to make you a colored candle, but I try not to add any additives to the wax. So it is like the most pure, clean burning thing you could have.
Okay. Next question is, what is your favorite fragrance when it comes to the candles?
I love the cocoa butter cashmere one. and it's like such a warm scent. But I also really like sea salt and orchid because it's just like a very like flowery, like clean, fresh scent, and but it's not like too floral.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. What is your best seller candle and why?
Everybody loves Saturday Afternoon or like Volcano, and they love them because they're like the fruity scents, but they're not like overpoweringly fruity. They're like I don't know, if you were to walk up to like a barbecue and you walked over by the like fruit table or something, like you'd smell like a Saturday afternoon basically. So that I think that is really why that is a really good selling candle.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Do you have a favorite candle of your own?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I like them all. Like you mean like the style or the scent?
The scent.
Cocoa butter cashmere.
Okay.
All right. Did you ever had a bad experience with a customer? And how did you handle it?
Yes. Thankfully it was one of my what I guess I shouldn't even say it was like a bad experience. They had a bad experience with one of my candles. And this is like always what I'm worried about with like shipping candles because there's things I can't control and it's like the temperature and it's soy so it melts like a lot quicker than a lot of the other waxes because it's
Mhm.
like a softer wax and like it can cause like issues with like the wick like moving during shipping and becoming like dislodged or something, and that is what happened. So when the candle was lit it like slipped under, and it also could have been like something that I did in air as well, like maybe I didn't make sure the wick was as secure as I should have at that point in time. But basically it was just a faulty candle, and anytime I'm like have somebody that's not happy I feel awful, and I've always felt this way even when I was serving and bartending. Like if you tell me that your food is wrong, like I'm getting you all new food. I don't like I'm not gonna sit here and be like okay like do you want new? No, like we're gonna get you a new burger, we're gonna get you new fries, we're gonna get you a new steak, we're gonna get you a new drink, like we're getting new everything because you want like people pay for something and you want them to be happy.
Yeah.
So I mean I'm not really like I'm kind of I go out to eat like I'm kind of happy for every like I'm happy with what I get even if it's messed up and not even what I ordered, just because I think the service industry. But like even like when I order things, like sometimes I'm just like okay, like it's not exactly what I thought it was, but like why have it be something a lot bigger than it like needs to be. So
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
So for the audience, okay, we are going to have the young lady demonstrate and show some of her beautiful designs and candles.
Yes.
okay, well I'll show you the one that I have lit. It's a bowl candle, and this one is black amber and lavender, and this one smells it's like a warm scent, and it smells like really like I don't know, welcoming and calming I should say. I have these are like my 4-ounce tins.
Okay.
These are nicer to like ship with because I don't have to worry about, well, it's cheaper to ship them because they don't weigh as much as glass, and glass can break. So
Yeah.
that is like a concern of mine. Although I didn't have any issues with broken glass yet. So not that I know of anyways. I wonder if sometimes people are nice to me just because of Lennox. So like they don't complain, which kind of worries me. So like this is a bigger size. This is the 8-ounce tin, and honestly, it's probably more than 8 ounces of candle because I pour based on how it looks, not how it weighs. Like when I did the weights, I was like, I don't like the weight, like how it looks. Like it looks like a half empty candle, even like if I did 8 ounces or 4 ounces. So they're definitely like a little bit more. These are my 8-ounce glass ones, and then I have 10-ounce glasses.
Okay. I think those are the ones we got.
Yeah,
one of
those are
here.
the yeah.
Yes. And then for like, this is one of the styles I'm gonna have for Christmas.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We gotta get those. How much are those?
I don't know yet, but they're not gonna be. I think that if anything, they probably won't be over $10 because it's really, I got the vessels for actually pretty good, but Yeah. So I go and like I'll go to craft stores, like I'll go to Michael's and I'll buy the vessels that they have for candles and I'll turn those into candles. So sometimes like the prices may vary, but like these I like order from a supplier, so it's kind of the same price every time. It's not like when I go to Michael's and get like a things on sale and things for only $1. Then I had
Monty's
these
favorite season.
pumpkins. I had more of these pumpkins in orange, but I sold out of all of them at my craft show.
Monty, she's getting ready to show you Halloween candles right now.
And then I have these, which are
Oh,
that's nice.
That is
these are-
lovely.
these are like 20-ounce candles, but they burn like I've been burning one for weeks, and I burn it like a long time, like longer than because I power burn my
So
candles.
the candle is inside the jar?
Yes.
Oh wow.
It's 20 ounces of wax. I burn the candles for like 1,000,000 hours to make sure that if you burn the candles for 1,000,000 hours, because even on like the store, like you go to Bath and Body Works and you buy one of their candles, on the bottom it's gonna tell you like don't burn longer than 4 hours.
Yeah.
I know everybody burns their candles longer than 4 hours.
Yeah.
I burn my candles longer. Even if I go to the store and buy a candle, I'm burning it longer than 4 hours. So it's kind of like we have to put it on there because it's like the law and like the regulations and stuff. But I test my candles to make sure they're okay to be burned longer than 4 hours because I know that not all humans read everything all the time completely. But those are kind of that. And then I do have wax melts.
Oh yes, we need to get those because Verns gave us this wax melter, so we need to get those.
Yeah, you can get these. They come in a lot of the same scents as the candles, and then like I have them, like I can do them in different shapes. Oh, I wish I had some. I can show you the mold. This is like it's like a candy mold, but so these are like little potion bottles, and I make wax melts with these for like Halloween and stuff. So they're like fall scented, but yeah.
Awesome. That is amazing. Yes, we definitely have to get the wax melt and the Christmas candles. Yes. So at this time, guys, we are going to show Lennox Light's website.
All right, for the website, honey.
All right. So
the candles are beautiful.
Yes, they are.
Thank you.
So for you guys that like Halloween, make sure you guys order.
Okay, so website is this one. Yes.
Okay.
Guys, so this is Lennox Light's website. It says handmade soy wax candle and melts. All right, so here it is. And there's a beautiful picture of Lennox right there. Tells you all about the story, all about the journey, all about the fight for Lennox right here. And you can also contact customer service right here, guys. And it says gift box option. See? And then it has fun shapes. Amazing.
Oh, that's so cool.
But the fun shapes are coming soon. So let us go to the candles. All right, let us go to the candles. See, guys, we have the 4 ounce, which is $6. We have the 8 ounce, which is $12. Reasonable prices. Heart-shaped tea light. Oh, those are nice. Put those in the bathroom.
Heart-shaped reminds me of Valentine's Day.
Yeah, heart-shaped tea light candles.
Okay.
And then we have the 8 ounce glass candle, which is $16.
Okay, get your 16 on.
Yes,
honey.
and Mr. Monty, Miss Mary, here's your set for the
Halloween
Fiesta fall candles.
Okay.
$30.
Get your candle, girl.
Those are 20 ounce. All right. Okay. So let's see if we can go to all products. Okay, yeah. So
I think that was all products.
Yeah, that was all products.
Miss Mary, pay attention.
You can go and you can click on wax melts. It should be like wax melts, like under like where you click candles.
Okay, wax melt right
here.
Yes,
because I had to switch it because people were having trouble.
Okay, so here we have the wax melt, guys, as you guys can see. So here we see the wax melt. All right. So these are the wax melts that she just showed you guys. So these are $4.
Yes, get your wax melt
All
on,
right.
honey.
This is the chocolate fudge.
All
All right.
right, so
And I believe it comes in all different type of scents. We
Yep.
have the butterfly wings.
Ooh, Mariah Carey.
Yes. And what else it has? Sea marlins, I believe that's what it is. All
They have
right.
mango and coconut milk.
Yes, and then they have pineapple and sage.
Ooh, not pineapple and sage.
Yes. Look at all these beautiful scents, guys. Cupcake with Lennox.
Yes.
All right, well, get yourself some cupcake with Lennox.
Honey.
That's amazing.
How long does it normally take to make the melts and the candles?
So with to like melt the wax and stuff, it doesn't take very long. It might take like an hour or two to melt the wax and pour it into the candle. Before you can move the candle after pouring hot wax into it, you should let it set for about 2 hours so it's like hardened, and then you're not like messing up the tops. And then they go into curing for 2 weeks because it makes the scent stronger. So I mean, some people, they burn their candles like right after and their scent throws okay, but from my research and my experience, I learned that letting the candles sit for like 2 weeks just makes their cold throw, which is the scent when it's not lit, and then their hot throw, which is the scent when it is lit, like a lot stronger.
Okay. All right, guys. So that was the website, guys. But Lennox Lights also have a Instagram, so we are also going to
yes, IG,
show
honey.
the Instagram as well. So
Okay.
hold on one moment.
Yes, you can get in
So
contact with her on IG.
here you guys go. This is Lennox Lights Instagram. So go on over and follow Lennox Lights. You get all the updates of Lennox, all the updates of the new candles that is in store. Lennox story, everything will be on here, as you guys can see. See the setup right there with the new candles that is in store right now, as you guys can see, and also the recent picture of Lennox with his helmet right here.
Oh,
See? Yes, guys. So please go over and follow Lennox Lights on Instagram. And there's also the website. And also he also has a Amazon wish list. If someone, let me see if I can copy and paste this. Hold on one second. Hold on. Bear with me. If someone can go and copy and paste the wish, let me see. All right, I got it. He also has a wish list on Amazon, so I will be dropping this in the chat in just a moment. So please go and follow them on Instagram so that you guys can get all the updates and everything that is going on. So the wish
that
list.
picture is so cute of him with the helmet on.
Hold on one second.
Oh,
Let me see. Okay, this chat. All right.
yes, great job.
So this is the wish list right here. All right. And now we are going to show the YouTube channel, guys. So Lennox Lights
Ooh, you can find them on YouTube, honey.
is on YouTube, guys.
Mm-hmm. You
So
gotta order your candles. So y'all can't have no excuse of why you can't order candles. They got a website, they got IG, and they on YouTube, honey.
So guys, we need to get the subscriber numbers up. She is coming out with some more videos very soon.
Honey. Grab them numbers, honey.
As you can see, that she did some videos of making the candles and how to make the candles and everything on here, guys. So it says trying something new, and also how to set up candles and everything on here. So please go over and connect with Lennox Lights on Instagram. You also see there's the website, the Facebook, and the Instagram.
Okay.
All right. And also in the about section, there's information of the homemade candles and a little bit about Lennox. All right.
All right. They got 28 now. I think 2 people grabbed.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for following. So let us go on over and connect with Lennox Lights. Okay,
Did you drop it, or is it already?
I'm gonna drop it, but it's also in the description.
Okay, it's in the description on it.
Hold on one second.
You just hold on 1 second, honey.
All right. So go on over, guys. If you have not followed Lennox Lights on YouTube, please go on over and connect. Okay. Please go on over and connect with Lennox Lights on Instagram and follow them as well.
Okay, don't be scared. Don't be scared.
All right. So
don't be scared.
All right. So do we have any more questions before we close out the show? We'll take one more questions or two. If anyone have any questions, please feel free. Also, guys, the Cash App and also the PayPal jar is strolling across the screen. If you would also like to give a token to Lennox Lights to help so that they can get the service dog and whatever needs that they need for Lennox. So if you would like to send a love token or just something to help out Lennox, I will drop the information in the chat.
Yes, drop the information.
One second. All right, so this is the information right here. So if you guys would like to send a token or something to Lennox, you guys can do it as via Cash App or PayPal. So it's PayPal tip jar Lennox Lights, and then Cash App is there. It's GREVELDING.
Okay.
All right, so that is the information right there, guys. So
all the information right up on the screen.
I do not think that we do not have any more questions. Okay, so guys, this was a lovely interview. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for sharing. Thank you all so much for sharing. Mazi said, "You are so pretty."
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. All right.
Any support is appreciated.
For Lennox. Thank you. Yes. Any support is appreciated, guys. So even if it's $1, $2, $3, or 25 cents,
or if you want to give your whole bank.
Yes, it will help. So this was a great
very beautiful.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. This so I forgot to ask this question. So Lennox,
now we asking last minute questions.
What do you expect to gain from tonight and to help other mothers that may be in the same condition as you? Situation as you.
I just hope to gain basically more people following Lennox's story, gain people who will share out Lennox's story. The more people we get on board with Lennox's story, the more people we can help, honestly, across America and across the world. I belong to like this Dravet caregiver support group, and there's people in there from like Australia, there's people in there from like Africa, and it's just crazy to think of like social media having like all these connections, like worldwide connections, that I feel like with all the medicine experiments and like somewhere out there in the world, somebody has to have a cure for this, whether it's a cure right now or a cure in 10 years from now, that somebody has to have like the knowledge to figure it out. So that's what I would love to do. And so if you share out Lennox's story and you just share out my channel, it'll help us tremendously get the word out there for Lennox and families like ours and just kids like Lennox.
And buy some candles.
Yes, and buy some candles.
Also, guys, if you go and purchase some candles, you can also use the code XFamily, where you get free shipping. None of the proceeds come to House of X Entertainment. It all goes to Lennox Lights. So, guys, we're the House of X Entertainment.
And you have been entertained again.
I'm Wanston.
And I'm Leo.
And this was another exclusive interview by yours truly. Our lovely guest is none other
Lennox Lights.
Thank you guys so much for coming. We'll be back next Friday, I believe, for another great interview. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hey, turn me up a little. Yeah.
Hey, let me get a little more of that.
They know
money.
who we at, man.
How thick, what it
Yeah.
is, man. You know what I'm saying? I know
Tell you
sometimes
anything.
we probably here, baby.
Yeah. We stay entertaining. Yeah. Hey, we stay entertaining. Hey, we stay entertaining. We stay entertaining. Yeah. Now turn me up, baby. Now turn me up. We stay entertaining. Yeah. Hey, we stay entertaining. Hey, we stay entertaining. We stay entertaining. Yeah. Now turn me up, baby. Now turn me up. Hey, we stay entertaining. Now go and check the ratings. We got them up through the ceiling like elevators. House of X in the building, so going crazy. This shit was made for television. Pass the remote, baby. Now go and subscribe, comment, go live. Tell a friend to go and tell a friend. Make sure you tap in, 'cause cause we at it again. It's all entertainment, cause we stay entertaining. Yeah, stay entertaining. Yeah.